Thank you very much. I'm really new at this, like a couple of months, but I'm loving all the things that are happening. But this really is scary. I have a question. I have all these things that I'm always wanting to get done all the time, and I used to make myself these huge long lists that realistically I knew no one could ever complete. But I still can't get things done. Like, I try to think positively. I try to picture myself, with everything organized and everything done, and I have a lot of responsibilities. I have 3 little boys and a business and, all kinds of stuff. But I just seem to get further and further behind. So how do you catch up?
It's logical. You've said many things to us that help us to understand the reason for that. As you say, I can't get it done and I have too many things to do. And we especially liked your first statement. It was very accurate, and we're going to begin there. When you said, I have these long, long lists that no one could do. And the thing that we want to point you toward is, we agree with you, no one could do it, but there is so much help for you. In other words, no one can do it. And Esther makes lists that 20 couldn't do. But what we're wanting you to feel from us is that there are universal forces that are assisting you. But you have to get in sync with those universal forces. And so when Esther was feeling overwhelmed with her long lists, we gave her a process some time ago, and she still uses it even today. It is a process we call the placemat process. Let us explain to you how it happened with Esther. One day she had a long, long, long list, many pages. And she was feeling overwhelmed, and she said, Abraham, what should I do? And we teased her about that for a while. We said, it's not so important what you do, it's more important how you feel. But it was evident that how she felt was overwhelmed. And the more she played with her list, the more overwhelmed she felt. And the more overwhelmed she felt, the less she got done. And the less she got down, the more overwhelmed she felt. So it was a sort of cycle that she could not break out of. So one day when she was feeling that way, we said, Esther, they were in a restaurant, and there was a paper placemat on the table in front. And we said, draw a line down the center of the page. And then on the left side, write, things I will do today, things I intend to do today. Not things that I've been carrying around with me for months saying I was going to do today. The things I really will do today, no matter what. And so Esther looked down her long, long list, and she wrote down a handful of things that really had to be done today. A payment that had to be made, and a phone call that had to be made, and a handful of things that the path of least resistance was really to do them rather than not do them. I'm going to do these things. But it was only a small, small percentage of her list. And then we said to her, now, on the other side of the list, as the heading, write, Universe's side of the placemat. Universe, please tend to these things. And we said, everything else, put on that side. Well, it took quite a while for her to write this. In other words, she went down her list and she wrote thing after thing after thing after thing after thing. And each thing that she wrote on the universe's side of the placemat gave her a sort of sense of relief, because what she was actually saying is, I'm going to do this and I'm going to leave everything else to someone else. Now, this is the reason that was so effective for her. She discovered, even before that first day was finished, the universe got more things done than she did. Things that were on her list that she intended to do. Things resolved themselves. The phone started ringing. People started saying, I've taken care of this. People she needed to call called her. In other words, all kinds of things. More things happened that she didn't do than the things that she did do. And she did do the things on her list, which gave her an added feeling of empowerment. Now, the reason this placemat process worked is because it encapsulates the 2 important things that are necessary in achieving anything. You identify what it is you want, and you get out of the way. So by identifying that she wanted those things, by writing them down, and then by getting out of the way, by putting them on the universe's side of the placemat, she put herself in that place where she activated her awareness of what she wanted, and at the same time activated a vibration of relief. And she allowed them to take place. And now, there are many things that Esther does, partly because she likes to do them. There are many things that she does because she knows she's good at them. And she is always reaching for that balance between having too much to do and just the right amount to do. In other words, she watches Jerry. He never stops. He cannot wait for a project to dig into. And if he doesn't have a project, he reads the newspaper like it's really important. And if he doesn't have a newspaper, he'll read the magazine or the milk carton or anything that is around him. In other words, he always wants to be focused upon something. And Esther does not find herself that way. Esther is not always wanting to be focused on something. She likes to sit and just think of nothing. She likes thoughts to move in and out of her mind, or she likes to take a subject and play it out in her mind. Everyone approaches their experience differently. But if you will give yourself the relief of understanding that no one can do that and no one has to do that, and that the fairies of the universe will assist you, and you just pick what's most important for you to do today and delegate everything else, before you know it, you'll have a small list of action and a whole big list of things you want, but you won't be putting the big list of things that you want on your to-do today list.
Okay. Now, in the same token, then, the things I hate doing, I can put them on the universe's list and not feel bad about that.
You can, but if it's something that you really feel like you need to do, in other words, the way you feel is what is important. And so as you say, I really hate doing this, and so I'm putting it on the universe side of the placemat, as you amplify how much you hate it, you're not giving yourself the benefit of the release of that resistance, you see. And so what we would say in a softer way is, I'll do the things I really need to do, but there are not as many things that I really need to do as I've been telling myself that I need to do. And what you'll discover, it's our promise to you. You don't hate those things nearly as much as you think you do. What you hate is the feeling of overwhelmment. Esther said to Jerry, it's not my list of things that I'm doing that is so troubling. It's the list I can't get to. It's the guilt list. It's the list of things I think I should do that I don't have time to do. And that's the list you want to delegate to the universe, because we really want you to hear us when you say, universe, I would like such and such to happen, the universe goes to work on it immediately, whether you're in a resistant mode or not. And in the moment you stop your resistance, then you see the progress, you see.
Okay.
You have only to ask. And so it's all right for you to choose the things that you like most to do. Esther worried about that in the beginning. She said, well, Abraham, if I only choose the things I like to do, then the things that I really don't like to do get left to someone else, and that hardly seems fair. Why should other people have to do the things I don't want to do? And we say, we don't think they should either. And then questions started coming up. Well, Abraham, we're worried because if your method gets out, there's going to be a whole lot of things that we need done that a whole lot of people will no longer be willing to do. And then we're going to be in trouble. And we say, no, because the universe always finds a way. In other words, if anything that you desire, the universe will find a way. And the universe can always find a way within the context of people's natural, joyful desires. In other words, it must be, this is a joy-based universe, you see. And so you watch children playing in the mud and having great joy in it, and you might not enjoy playing in the mud, but they do, and so you got to admit there's somebody enjoying doing something you don't want to do, and that pretty much applies to everything. In other words, there's someone who would enjoy every single thing that you don't want to do. Okay. And if it really came down to the place where there was really not one person who was now willing to do that thing, you would develop another way of approaching it. In other words, there are a lot of things in your experience that are in your history that you no longer participate in. In other words, you leave them behind because no one wanted to do them.
Okay, well, that answered my question. Thank you.
Have fun with this. Yes. And we are here to remind you that that source which you are aligning with is pure positive energy. It's liquid love. It's well-being. And it is the only source that flows. It would not be possible for you to line up with a source of evil in the way that you could line up with the source of your source, because there is no source of evil. There is the pinching off of that which is your source. And when you pinch off that which is light, you end up with dark. And when you pinch off that which is wellness, you end up with sickness. And when you pinch off that which is good, you end up with the lack of goodness, which you call bad or evil. But if you can restrain yourself resist the temptation of calling what you don't want evil, so that you minimize within yourself the expectation that something that you don't want has the power to assert itself in your experience, for we assure you there is nothing that has that power. Then you are on the track of being aligned with the energy that is your source, and then you are more likely to allow the well-being that is natural to you to flow to you, to be your physical manifested personal life experience as you stand here in this glorious leading edge experience. It is always great fun, our favorite thing, in fact, to see you consciously align with that which is you, to feel the clarity of your connection and recognize that that newfound breath of fresh air that is blowing through you is your realized connection with that which is your source. Life is supposed to be good for you. It is supposed to feel good for you. You are joyous beings. You are joy-based beings. You came forth not to fix something that is broken, but to live the joyous creative experience that is you. Think about you in your physical body on your best of days, when you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on, when you are feeling good about life and you are wanting to get out into the fresh air and romp. That's who you really are. Free of worries, not concerned about what other people are doing. It's just you and this world in which you are creating. It is a palette laid out before you to surprise and delight you in endless ways. And that fresh, free feeling is the natural state of who you are. And it is our desire, as we chew here together today, that you discover some of your own personal tricks so that you can bring yourself back into that constant alignment with who you are. Sometimes people like you come to a gathering like this, and they have all kinds of things that they are worried about, that they want to release, or things that aren't going the way they want them to go, that they're hoping to get into perspective. And we understand that you live in a physical world. You are physical, flesh, blood, and bone. You live in a material world where your manifestations are very material and seeming very real to you in that sense. And it is our desire that you are able to gather around you all manner of things that surprise and delight you. We want that for you. We are not wanting to take you into a spiritual realm where you deny the things of the physical world, because you're here in this physical world with great intent. This is leading edge stuff here. But it is our desire that you put a little more emphasis, just for a little while, on your awareness of your connection with that which is your source. Because when manifestations spring forth from deliberate alignment, those manifestations are joy-bound. But when manifestations spring forth, as they always do, from thought that you're offering, but not from thought that you're offering intentionally, but instead from thought that you're offering by default, sort of sloppy thinking, or observing what's going on and letting your thoughts be mostly about what is, then your life is not so joyful. Then you do not feel the creative control that you genius creators came forth really intending to experience. So as we are visiting with you, we'll help you to recognize that feeling within you. That is your barometer that lets you know your alignment between you and you. We'll help you to recognize the power of your emotions, for we want you to understand that the emotional base that is you is the most important part of your awareness. You got to know how you feel, and you got to know what it means. And you've got to know what to do about it when it feels a way that is not allowing you to align with who you really are. Your physical wellness is about your alignment. Your physical manifestations are all about your alignment. The way your body feels and looks is about your alignment. Your relationships, all about your alignment. And your emotions tell you everything that you need to know about this alignment. So as you begin to pay more attention to the emotions that you are feeling, and you don't let them frighten you, and you stop beating up on yourself every time there's a whiff of a negative emotion, but instead you use the emotion to let you know what your vibrational content is, in the same way that you would use any meter. You don't condemn your gas gauge when it tells you your tank is getting empty. You stupid gauge, you should be on full. Instead, you appreciate the indicator and you go do something about it. You don't condemn your indicators that let you know where you are, and your emotions are your indicators that let you know where you are. Use them as the tool that they are, and enjoy them for the information that they give you, and love them, whether they are joy in the moment or hate and condemnation in the moment. Appreciate your emotions, because they let you know about your relationship with your source, which is everything.